PKN 321. What's up, boys?
How's everyone's day going?
Not too bad. Not too bad.
Total
Glad to
disappointment.
hear it.
I had like
Really?
a
Total disappointment.
I
for
had
Woody's
the
day.
smallest goals. Like, I'm going to wake up today. I'm going to fix my paramotor. I'm going to do this. I'm going to do that. What do? I don't know. A bunch of scav runs. This is Escape from Tarkov. I took a nap, I think.
You think?
I hung out with
That was a good nap.
Jackie.
You don't even know.
Yeah, right? I hung out with Jackie and I had a coffee. That's
Shame
about
on
my
you,
day
Woody.
thus far. I have not contributed to the GDP at all.
What would
My
Wes
goodness.
Watson think?
Oh, dude, did you see More Plates, More Dates? Derek's video.
Yeah, I just watched it. Yeah.
I fucking loved it.
Of course, Wes is on gear.
Dude,
of course he is.
Okay. But like, if you would have asked me, is Wes on gear? And I'd be like, Mr. Watson, you mean? Mr. Watson probably achieved this naturally through hard work, motivation, and just a dedication, indomitable spirit, most likely. Derek is like, look at this guy in 2015. There's a shot of Wes Watson in 2015, and I honestly think all of us are stronger than he is in 2015.
I
Wow.
don't
Then
know.
we could all get there. In 5 years.
He looks good in 2015. Like he looks like
The shot of him in the gym?
Yeah, I mean he's got like sex lines and like decent like.
I said stronger, didn't I? I meant to say stronger. I don't know. Like, I put a high value on low body fat. I'm sorry I cut you off.
Yeah,
But,
he's probably he's below 20 for sure.
Yeah.
He's somewhere between 15 and 20.
I can't compete with him in that regard. But if it's just like strength or something, like climbing a rope or like I might get him. I might get that imaginary 2015 version of him.
Yeah, maybe. All right, so like raw strength. Okay, he's not the best.
Now he is though, right?
So now he's a fucking.
They look
like,
at him in
man plant.
2015, and this is what I liked, right? Like I was starting to say, like me, Mr. Watson, just dedication, motivation, and probably honor made him so
Chicken,
strong.
broccoli.
Yeah. Derek is like, look at this guy. He's saucy as fuck. He's like, he starts naming like Kai Green and a couple others. I'm trying to remember.
Ronnie Coleman.
Like he names like maybe 3 people in the history of mankind who could achieve that body naturally. But he's like, look. Like he didn't say these words, but it's like, why am I still making this video? Case closed. Saucy as fuck.
Yeah.
And I was just like, I guess Derek's not afraid that Wes is going to show up.
I literally wrote that in Discord. I was like, Derek better watch out. Wes might come for him. Yeah, honestly, Wes is too big. Wes has crossed into that gross territory for me personally. Like vascularity is cool up until a point. Like if you've got like a vein in your bicep, like the one that runs like straight up and down, that's a good look. If you've got like veins in your forearms to some extent, especially like down here, like good look. He's got veins on his upper pecs. And I don't mean like, oh yeah, if you look closely in the light, there's a little vein there. I mean, he's got a road map on his upper pecs that it's gross. It's fucking gross.
It's fucking gross.
It's fucking nasty. And he's got them on his like delts too, like all over his delts and upper pecs. He's got garden
So he needs to
hoses.
gain like 8 pounds.
Kyle's not afraid to shit talk Wes Watson because
We're fellow fellas.
He's been
all
in the
right?
pen, right? He knows.
I've been in the pen.
When Wes
right?
Watson's like, I don't want to fuck with that Kyle, dude.
Wes Watson would have been getting my lunch tray. All right? That's how things would have gone down. All right?
Oh yeah.
Especially 2015, Wes Watson.
Yeah, baby.
He'd be cleaning my cell. All right, that's how things. Please don't come get me, Wes. Wes, this is a comedy show. You've never seen this before, but somebody linked this to you, and these are jokes. I know I've never seen you laugh, but I assume you possess that emotion. You're like a Vulcan or something.
This part right here is the joke, though. You should know. The first part he was very
Yeah, this is all comedy, bitch. Please don't hurt me.
No, you can take him.
That's funny.
Oh, I can take him easy. No
Kyle's
problem.
outlined exactly what happened. Someone has linked this to you, and you don't sell the show.
You're unfamiliar with how this goes down. You might think that we do this every. No, this is us calling you out, punk. That's what this is. The way this works, you show up. First, you fight Woody. He's our junior member. All right, you start with him. This is like a what do they call it? A komite? What is that thing? The bullshit like go in the woods and fight.
Like the Spartans did. I don't know.
Anyway, yeah, no, this is just nonsense. We don't want to fight you, Wes. But seriously, you're real gross looking though. You need to gain like 5 pounds of fat, man.
Yeah, you'd have fun doing it.
I should introduce him to trail mix. You're right. I think 5 pounds of fat would make him look good. Watching Derek's videos,
pancakes, bacon,
opened my eyes to that. Like, you look at some guys who have a little fat on them, like Henry Cavill, thank you, in Superman or Captain America. Like, they're not fat, but they're not like ugly vascular either.
White people don't look good that shredded.
Do black people?
What?
Yeah, black people look better shredded than white people do. 100%. Like something about the skin tone. It like we get translucent. We get gross. No, for real. You start seeing stuff that's inside of us that you shouldn't be seeing. Black people, their skin tone hides some of that gross shit that's on the inside. You never saw blue veins in a black person. You don't think they got blood? Come on. It's gross.
They don't have blue blood. That's us English with the blue blood.
Yeah, we're not supposed to be that fucking jacked. He's way too vascular. It's gross. He needs to grow gain some fat. But
what
yeah,
are you thinking, Whitey? You start roasting like just
cracker. Yeah, he's
that
saltine's way too vascular. It's too much. But he's obviously been on steroids for many years.
And I like that Derek called that out too, because I think he's a little forgiving, gun shy. I don't know how to say it, but like he'll take a guy like Captain America and be like, well, it's hard to tell, or Chris Hemsworth. How close am I on that?
Chris Hemsworth, any of the Marvel guys, almost always. Hugh Jackman is one that
he did call out. Right. Yeah. We remember it the same way. But the two Chris's, he kind of gave them. Yeah, could be natural pass, might just be that. The Rock.
I don't think Hemsworth is natural. That guy's fucking yoked.
The Rock, he's like, maybe therapeutic TRT, and I'm like, you think The Rock? Like,
yeah, I agree with him there because like The Rock had that like professional athlete background already. Like he's been. And the genetics. His dad, like if you look at what his dad looked like, and his dad was on steroids too, I'm sure. Because like he was a WWF guy, and Rocky something or another was his wrestling name. Huge motherfucker, like gigantic pecs, like huge arms, just a manly man. And so he's got those genetics, and then like the college football he played, and obviously the wrestling and stuff. Like he's got just such a athletic background. He didn't need to go on some massive dose to get where he is now, although he is a giant motherfucker, and he seems to work out every day. You ever look at his Instagram?
I just hear Joe Rogan talk about it.
Yeah, all day, all the time. Just always in the gym, always doing something new.
That in itself is a sign. How old is The Rock?
Fucking 45, I would guess.
I mean, you can't work out like 3 hours a day every day at 45. Most people can't anyway.
Yeah, I wouldn't think so.
Who's that guy that was he's like a fitness guy that was on Joe Rogan, and like every day he takes a picture of his watch at like 4:50 in the morning.
Oh, is that
not David Goggins?
Something absurd.
Goggins? Yeah, he's like he's a thin-ish black guy who does endurance.
Dude. No, it's Jocko Willink. That's his name.
Oh, Jocko. Yeah, the ex-Navy SEAL guy who looks like he's fucking Master Chief from Halo.
This guy has the scariest neck.
Dude,
he has the scariest neck
on a man. Like just looking at him, you're like, man,
welcome to who's got the scariest neck in America. Our returning champion, Jocko Willink, ate the other contestants, so there will be no show tonight.
Dude, it's like just look at his avatar on his Twitter. It's like, all right, your challenge for the day is you can only post your neck and head, but you still have to let people know that you're the biggest guy in the room. It's like, no problem, no problem. It's like, look at how he could beat you up with that forehead scrunch.
Not you, Taylor. Not you.
Maybe not me.
Taylor goes forehead to forehead with
dark
anybody.
Eyes and you know he's killed people.
Yeah, oh yeah, dude. So absolutely. Jocko and Tim Kennedy, they have done a couple shows together, and they're both legit badasses, right? Like I haven't ever seen Jocko do anything, but he seems to be unquestioned Navy SEAL, actual operator, tough guy. Cool, right? Mm-hmm. Tim Kennedy. Same background except Green Beret, and we've seen him at the highest levels of the UFC, right? So let's just not question their tough guy credentials. I was watching, there were some Black Lives Matter people, and they were at a table, And the Black Lives Matter people were not the alphas in this situation. There were some women, some smaller guys.
Is this that restaurant clip? Like outside a restaurant? Oh,
no,
okay.
I think I only heard about that one. I think that one's kind of the opposite, where the Black Lives Matter people are being jerks. This one, the Black Lives Matter, have like a folding card table set up as people drive by, so they can maybe like I don't know, hand out pamphlets or something. Take donations, hand out pamphlets. Like they're peaceful, whatever. Then the big white sort of biker guy comes along with some sort of Trump shirt, and he like flips the table over, and he's looking to fight people. And one of the more athletic Black Lives Matter people, he's a white guy, is like, I'm in. And then it quickly becomes apparent he's giving up like 80 pounds to the biker dude, and women are yelling, "Somebody help him! Somebody help him!" Right? Like,
you jump in there, bitch.
Right? And
was it that same like woman screaming like, "Stop it! Stop it!"
I know that stop. She was a little better than that one.
I wish every time I hear a screechy, high pitched cunt yell, "Stop it!" when two men are, especially when they're
should agree to
just
attack
like,
her.
"Hey, you want to go, bro?" And he's like, "Yeah, I want to fucking go." And they're just gonna fucking go. And it's like, all right, everybody stand back. They're gonna fight. Nobody will probably die. Let's watch. But some cunt has to scream, "Stop it!"
So let me carry on with where I was going.
I wish both men would stop and beat her.
I would love that too. So anyway, I painted the scene, right? Big, strong biker dude, and he's got a couple other big, strong biker dudes who aren't participating but are back up. And I'm like, what does Jocko do there? Because Jocko's thing isn't really about fitness or what a badass he was. His whole podcast is like social situations. You know, hey, when I'm at work, people don't seem to listen to my opinion very much. How can I give my voice more authority? Hey, when I'm doing this, like, you know, people are putting me down. Maybe my friends busted my balls all the time, but then I really stood up for myself. And now I'm the dick somehow. And he like takes these social situations and answers questions. That's become like his niche. I thought
he was a fitness guy. I didn't know that. I've never listened to his show.
Okay. So he answers stuff like that all the time. I'm like, what does he do there? What does he do there? Does he just I fuck Mr. Biker Guy? Does he stand in front of him and say, hey, you get one warning, and then you're going to have to start behaving yourself civilly? Does he hold him down and say, someone call the police, he'll be here, and notify the post office because he's not going anywhere? Like, this is where his mail goes from now on until I decide otherwise. It's a tough guy thing. So,
yeah,
I've heard.
Tough guys say.
Let me say something else. You tell the carrier to have the mail forwarded to me.
I heard another tough guy say it. It was actually, I heard a tough guy say it, but in reverse. It was Frank Mir talking about grappling with his grappling coach. And his grappling coach, Ricky Lundell, is like 100 pounds lighter, but he's just dominating Frank Mir. And Frank's like, and they're like, get up, do this, do that. And he's like, I'm not going anywhere. You can have my mail delivered here. I'm stuck. I'm not going anywhere. Anyway, so back on topic. How does Jocko handle this situation? How does he handle this out of control rampaging dude? Remove the politics from it. And like, what do you do there? What do you do there?
He would just pop him, I bet. Like if he was getting physical with him. Like, Jocko doesn't seem like the guy to shy away. Like, I bet he just gives him a little pop. Like,
I feel like
I can't see Jocko Willink initiating it. But if the other guy's up in his face, you know, like getting like 2 inches from here, spitting in his face, like with the talking and the wild arm movements, like, yeah, Jocko will just, he'll do some sort of jujitsu and fix that situation.
I give him these like, I might be giving him too much credit. I give him these Jedi powers that has the guy backing down without, like Fonzie did. This is probably too old a reference. Where it's just, you just sort of walk in the room and they're like, oh, whoa, Fonzie's here. We don't want to fuck with this. Like, we didn't know that you were his friend.
You want to donate your money to black people.
Yeah, I think Jocko handles that without touching the guy somehow. I don't know.
I would imagine Jocko's opening move is always a headbutt.
Yeah. Yeah,
he looks like he does headbutt exercises. Like he's got that leather like skull cap that has the chains attached and the weights in the back, and he's just doing like head sit-ups all fucking day long. What a neck on that fucking man ogre.
It's good, but huge. It doesn't strike me as like that.
Superhuman? Yes, it does. Come on, his ears come straight down.
That is
to his
true.
neck. It's like there's no in between. This doesn't exist. See this area? He doesn't have one of these.
It's just straight down.
It's just straight down.
It is literally straight down from his ears.
Doesn't exist in nature.
You know, like all his pictures is just like, hey, look at how much sweat there is on the ground. And it's every day.
Even the crocodile has like that change from like behind the ears to neck to like shoulders. Jocko doesn't have that.
Why are you waking up at 4:30? What are you doing?
What are you doing? See, whenever I see that, I'm like, well, what time did you go to bed? And if they're like, well, 6 p.m., haha, I'm like, all right, who fucking cares then?
I don't want my schedule to be
either he's telling me that he goes to bed the same time as a 90-year-old woman, or he's telling me that he doesn't believe in sleep. In either case, I think he's lame.
If you've ever done the early to bed, early to rise thing, like it is better. It's not me. I don't do it. I don't pretend. Nice. But like when you like do shit for 6 hours and then have lunch, like
those are good days.
You're having a productive
really
day. Yeah, you're on top of your game in that situation. And maybe it's because the nighttime hours are typically less productive. You know, I know Kyle can use his nighttime hours really well, but the shit I do between 11 p.m. and 3 a.m., we're not too proud of that. We're gaming and bullshit, right? Like it's
nothing's getting done,
right? Like I don't know.
I do this like I think if you're doing things that require sunlight and also like businesses to be open, you're 1,000% correct.
Mm-hmm.
But you can definitely live that nocturnal lifestyle and be just as productive as long as you don't need other people or businesses to be open.
Yeah.
But if you're getting up at like 4 a.m. and then I'm sure this guy's getting a workout in until the floor is sweaty, it seems. And then by 6 a.m. he's showered and like ready to start his day. Like,
and I would get it. Like I get if he was like, I'm Jocko Willink and I got to be at Enterprise Rent a Car by 7:15. It's like, all right, well, you better bust ass and be up early if you're going to get your workout in. And then he goes there and he washes cars in his suit like a retard. And then he comes back home.
Hit a little close to home.
And then he gets back home, realizes does the math on the taxes and how much money he made that day, wants to kill himself, and then, is like exhausted from the day. Then I would kind of get it. But this guy's like, he's got to wake up and podcast? Like, like there's no, if anything, you're making your life more inconvenient when someone's like, oh yeah, I'd love to collab with you on your show. That'd be awesome. I'm pretty busy and you know how it is being an entertainer. How about 9 p.m. Eastern? We'll hop on, do a 2-hour show. Oh no, I'm asleep at 5 p.m. Pacific or Eastern. It's like, really, it seems the more I'm thinking about it, the dumber it seems. Just sleep until 6 and have a normal schedule.
I choose to believe
I don't get it.
That he has 365 watch photos that he reuses every year. He just has an automated job where he posts the appropriate morning 4:30 a.m.
I'm gonna start doing that. It's gonna be like 11:41, like 10:15.
Really unimpressive wake up time.
I love this idea.
Unimpressive wake up times.
Like woo, like hashtag woo, getting after it. 1:30 p.m.
Rise and shine.
Rise and shine.
Rise and shine with like those like working hard emotes.
Hashtag work hard, play hard. 2 p.m.
It's like Carpe Diem, 1:18 a.m. And then it's like 5 o'clock somewhere at 2 p.m. It's like Jocko, what's up?
No, I like that idea.
We've been playing a bunch of Vermintide.
Yeah.
I really like it. You said your stream fucking hates it, but they're assholes. And it's a great fucking game. I don't get it. I don't get why people don't like watching it. It's so much fucking fun to play.
I think we're going to do some more of it tonight. And it's not that they hate it. It's like I'm pulling like less than half viewership. Like I think I had like 470 people.
That's how they tell you.
I thought they were all in your stream.
Okay. No.
Not necessarily. I haven't played Vermintide. I'm sorry, I cut you off. I haven't played Vermintide with you guys, but like we played Among Us and that other one, Dead by Daylight or Death by Daylight.
Two of the worst games of all time.
And I'm like, 7 viewers. Huh? I bet they're in Taylor's stream.
Nope. They're in someone they like stream.
And like, do you ever like finish a stream with like way less viewers? And it's like, that's weird. I wonder what the issue was. And then like I'll start up a Kitchen Nightmares or Hoarders won immediately. It's like over 1,000. It's like, oh, they hated it. Is what it is.
That's
is they watched it for a second and they went, not for me, and then backed out of there.
Yeah, that's a shame because it's really fucking fun. It's really fucking fun. Woody was saying, like, people were like, these are the PK plays we've always dreamed of. And then nobody shows up and nobody donates any money. You scumbags.
Well, who fucking cares? We're gonna do it tonight. I'll save my just chat and stream for tomorrow night. I want to do some more Vermintide. I want to get my. I didn't know that 30 was the top ranking. That's surprising.
Well, it keeps going.
I had in my head going level 56 or something.
Yeah, it keeps going. I don't know how far because I'm like a 31 or a 32 now on my elf character. But at 30, you've unlocked all of the skills that you can possibly have. Okay. Like the skills are unlocked at like every 5 or 10. Every 5, I think, until you get to 30.
Can you remind me, like, past 30, is there still more, or does that mean you've worked on other characters, or like each character
my elf
has
was
like
now a level 31 or a 32.
You do the elf?
Weapons.
You do the elf?
Yeah. I love the elf.
I think the elf is the best one, but I don't have much.
The elf
time
is
in
the
her.
best one.
Yeah,
the elf is 100% the best one. Look.
I didn't know when I first started. Otherwise, I would have done the elf too.
I didn't either, but I discovered it very quickly when it seemed that no one has ever beaten me in kills or damage ever in the history of us playing this game. Now, first of all, it's largely because of the class. I'm sure. I think I'm very good at the game. However, I got 500 kills the other day, and the other 3 people in the lobby combined for 400. And I was just like, might be the character. might be the character.
Can you have 2 of the same characters in the lobby?
No,
you can't. Okay. Yeah, I have. Who's the white dude I have ranked up? You know his name.
Marcus Kruber.
Yeah. So I have him ranked up, and I kind of recall there being like different versions of him, and you have to rank both up. I may have 2 of his versions. I forget. It's been too long, and I think I have my dwarf ranked a bit, but not my elf.
I started with the dwarf guy, and honestly, he's fun. Like his little second class just means he takes no damage at all, hardly. Like he can just run in and tank forever. But like being the same size as the Skaven and every enemy being huge and all the fields like actually having vision impairment.
The grass is here.
The grass is too high. And I was like, all right, I got I dwarfed like 23, and I was like, I want to try the Witch Slayer or whatever it is. That guy's cool. He's only on like 14 now, but he's got the what is it called? The flagellance, the flagellant look from Warhammer, where it's like he just looks like a crazy priest with a flail. It's a very good aesthetic look.
I missed the day 1 version of you guys when I would have carried the troop. Now Kyle's all pro and level 30, and
you know what?
That was my window.
Well, maybe or maybe not. What difficulty do you play on?
What's the highest one?
Oh, do you play on the highest difficulty?
I need good teammates to kind of carry me. I've beaten
them, not tonight.
And the default one is quite easy. I can do that.
The default one is quite easy. Recruit is too easy. We don't do that anymore. Above recruit is veteran, and we jumped into veteran like as soon as we were able to, and we were immediately like, mistake, back to recruit, but now we beat veteran very easily. I don't think we've lost at veteran in many games. I think heroic is the level after that.
I haven't even played a heroic yet.
And we've won a couple of heroics, but we've also lost a couple of heroics. But one of the reasons I think we lost is because one of our players, Mitty, was starting a new character, and he was like a level 5 dwarf or something playing heroic. And
see, that sounds. I'm sorry, I should let you finish. That sounds very comparable to me. I could win at heroic if I have good teammates and we all know what to do, and but I can't carry anyone in heroic. I think that's about where I left.
Yeah, I need some people handling like the big armored guys for me, and I can do crowd control. And
if some bonehead alerts what are they, stormtroopers, the ones that wear red and have very good armor?
Oh yeah,
you're supposed to let them walk by.
Oh no, we don't let anybody walk. They'll say, "Hey, like, oh, everybody hide." Those guys will just leave, and I'm just like, "Fuck that!" Yeah. I'm gonna shoot them all.
On heroic, it's a
bad idea.
Yeah, maybe a bad idea. Yeah, I could see that. The elf
you were
is so
right
OP.
about the game being like. I remember we were playing on recruit, and it was so laughably easy that like you could just stare at enemies and they would give you a second before they'd even start their swinging animation. And so we were all so pumped up on our own, high on our own supply, being like, we're going to walk into veteran. You know, if this is level 1, we could be doing level 5 right now. Like we could be beating this all on our own. We go in and we lose immediately in veteran, like swarmed. And we're like, oh, now they all take like 5 hits instead of 1, and just immediately.
I've never seen a game that does that though. It
went 0 to 60 immediately. There's you don't learn a goddamn thing about this game and how to play well playing on recruit, and so it sends you into veteran like expecting you to know how to dodge correctly and timing things, and it's like, no, but you had no practice at that, because even if you get hit in recruit, it may as well be with the LARP foam sword because it's not doing any damage.
But think about the names of the difficulty levels. Normally it's like recruit, beginner, pussy boy. Like getting used to it. The water's hot. like it's like, you know, it like steps you up, and like veteran is like the second to hardest thing you're gonna do. It's like veteran and then like impossibility. But in this game, it's like recruit, veteran. Wait, what happened to being all that in between where we went from a recruit to a veteran? Like
the enemies either really want to kill you or are entirely ambivalent.
Are there just 3 levels?
I don't know how many there are. There may be 3 or 4, but can definitely beat it easily on veteran now, regardless of the team. Like, as long as we're all like competent.
So at the end of it, for people who don't play this game, you usually get some unlocks, like keys to these gold level or whatever. And I remember that if I didn't play on the highest level, I almost never got upgraded weapons.
Yeah, they cap the chest value based on the difficulty you're playing in. So like if you only play recruit, you'll never get an item that's 100 power or greater. And if you play on veteran, it's like you'll never get an item that's whatever 200 or 250 stronger or greater, level or greater, and then on and on and on. And at this point, I gotta play on heroic if I'm gonna get anything better. Like I've got good shit.
And it's like your character's level too. So if your character's like a 205, they're not going to drop a 300 in there. You'll never get that, but you might get like a 207 or a 208. So you remove your 201 and you put in a 208, and there's 5 things, and now your average is a touch higher. So next time you do this, your average, you just replace your weakest artifact or whatever and put in a better one. It's we'll see.
I'm gonna play right after this. I'm really loving the game. Mitty's been loving the game. A few other guys from the Discord have been jumping in. It's a lot of fun.
Cool. Yeah, I'm down to play. I think I need to reinstall it. Hopefully I have all my stuff. I wouldn't lose my stuff, right?
Nah,
I wouldn't think so. And we all have all the DLC, right? Like
I'll buy more DLC. Right now I've just got like the 2 map packs that were like $9.99 each. One of them was literally 2 maps for $9.99.
Yeah, I know. I saw. I just bought the like $30 pack to get like all of them.
I should have. I want the Beastmen though, and I guess I'll get the Winds of Magic DLC too. Maybe that is the Beastmen, the Winds of Magic shit. I don't know. So. I'll look at it.
I'm not
I took my stitches out yesterday.
How'd
that go?
Fine. You know, I just clipped the tops off and then pulled the stitches through the holes. I'm not a baby, but
like, I mean, if you were a man, you'd use an angle grinder, but carry on with the story.
Angle grinder. take a fucking groove out.
You do it your way, all right.
And then like right after I got him out, I got the bill from the hospital for the stitches. So I'll let you guys guess. How many? May have been in there. I think it was 5 stitches.
1,100.
5 stitches, pharmacy.
1,100.
1,100 from Woody.
800.
So it was 2,000. and I'm like looking at him like, God damn, 2,000. That didn't feel like 2,000. Felt more like 1,400, but okay. And then I get to the bottom of the bill and it says uninsured discount, 75% off. It was 500.
Well, that's great.
Yeah.
So you got it points for being uninsured?
Healthcare system
they don't
is
charge
so
you as much.
fucked up in America.
Yeah, it really is. That doesn't make any sense.
No. And also, the fact that his bill was a total mystery until opening day is also not, like, what else do you buy in life that's like that? You know, he might have said $2,000, 4 stitches. I can get by with 4 stitches, right? Like, I don't know. Like at least
got any of that glue?
Yeah.
Glue, like that,
right? Is there a staple discount here? Or, hey, get me the Is the resident the learning doctor? I think so. Attending is the big one. Resident.
There's a guy out in the lobby who looked handy.
Yeah.
Uber to an Ace Hardware.
I want to brag, but my mom's a cross stitcher and
crochet the fuck out of this leg.
So, but yeah, I don't like for all we know, they're offering you ibuprofen at like $39 a pop. And you say, you know what? I'll just wait an hour and have the $39 have ibuprofen at home for slightly over free.
Woody, have faith. Our wonderful, hardworking politicians are going to get a working, cheap solution. It's going to be happy for all of us.
Yes. Bernie Sanders, 2028.
Woo! Live forever.
Yeah, that's the joke. Yeah.
I mean, Trump's immune to the coronavirus. I think we should reelect him just based on that alone.
Solid points.
That's true.
Did you see him throwing masks out to the crowd at his most recent rally? And dancing?
Masks, probably. I saw the little dance clip. Yeah, I didn't see him throwing masks.
Man's got some moves.
I think throwing masks is actually a good look. Like I didn't see it.
He is a coronavirus positive man. It would be like an AIDS. It would be like if Magic Johnson were out there tossing used condoms to the crowd.
Used condoms?
Used condoms, yes.
I'd rather catch the mask than the used condom.
Jizzed up cock balloons, Taylor.
I don't know. I would impregnate the girl and child payments for 18 years.
Oh my god! And you'd have to pay for the AIDS baby.
Oh,
not me. He'd have to pay. Not my baby, Kyle.
Oh, that's true. Magic would have an AIDS baby.
Magic would be paying out the nose. Actually, I wouldn't do that. That's horrible. But carry on. It's the worst joke I've ever told.
Let's make some AIDS babies.
What was I saying?
Yeah. I think he's throwing masks at people.
The number one issue right now that's hurting Trump is the fact that he hasn't taken the corona thing seriously enough. And you can quote him, and he has some good stuff. But when you pair it with the bad stuff and the general belief system of his supporters, which is, it's a Democratic hoax, they're just trying to hurt the president with it. Like, that's the stronger message that came through. If he were to reverse that, he would be removing one of the Democrats' best talking points. Or not. I don't know.
Yeah.
But
we'll see.
Yeah, we'll see. We'll see. I thought Biden's lead would shrink. That was my prediction. I feel like historically leads shrink, and I just applied that to the current presidency. Like, that's what always happens. If you look at presidential popularities, they always increase as election day approaches. And I think that that's because they start campaigning and you see a more positive vibe from them. Maybe Trump is different because he never really stopped campaigning. That was always like part of his thing. And I just didn't expect Biden's lead to get wider. Maybe it's not over. He has.
Yeah. I mean, it's
3 weeks.
There's enough time for at least 2 more ridiculous things to happen.
Oh yeah. Like I told you guys before, Biden's going to die.
Yeah. I think I'm gonna owe Taylor $100 on our we'll have 3 debates bet. I never saw this. Really, the core of the bet was whether Biden was gonna back out like a pussy, and Trump backed out and cost me $100. That fuck.
Bastard.
Yeah.
I love Trump's economy. 100 buckaroos right to me.
I was talking to some of the patrons, and they were talking about how much money they've gotten in coronavirus relief. Dude, tens and tens of thousands of dollars that some of our patrons have gotten from coronavirus relief.
How?
Mitty, I think, has gotten like $40,000 or $50,000 of unemployment. How? They just applied for it and they give it to you.
Because you get $1,200 a week, right? Is that what it? No, it was $600 a week.
I don't know what it was.
I don't know how.
It's added up to like tens and tens of thousands of dollars. Another guy is Canadian.
Are you allowed to do that?
Yeah, you're not.
Taylor, you keep working for your money, chump.
Yeah. Get after Jocko. And another guy, he was Canadian, and they had some sort. I'm gonna like butcher the exact figures, but they had something where like you could take out like a $50,000 loan, and as long as you paid back like $20,000 of it, 10,000 of the remainder, like as long as you pay 20,000, like within a very timely time frame, like 10,000 of it was immediately forgiven forever. So he was like, so I just took the 50 and then I gave them their 20 right back out of their 50, and then I get to keep the 10 forever. But then the remaining 20, well, I got like 8 years at 0% interest on that. So I just made 10,000, and then I take the other 20 and I put it over here, and it earns interest. And then I also got all of these unemployment benefits. I'm making money off this virus. I hope they never cure it.
I hope they never cure it.
Yeah,
I think it's worse.
How's that legal?
So I think a lot of Democrats are just like instinctively supporting the Democrats who want to give more and more money. If people don't know, here's how the negotiations went. The Democrats wanted a $3 trillion plan, and the Republicans wanted a $1 trillion plan. The Democrats came down to 2, hoping the Republicans would come up to 2 and meet in the middle. But instead, the Republicans went down to $500 billion, $500 billion. And I think they eventually came up to 1.3, and the Democrats didn't like that either. And now there seems to be no deal. And I'm like, maybe no deal's the move here. Because aren't there people in your universe who you think would be working, but instead are just living off the benefits?
Yes.
Yeah.
They're called the PKA Patreon.
Indirectly, we're making money off this.
It's not just Mitty and that one guy. There were like a couple of them that like popped up, like, yeah, man, I'm killing it off this shit. Like they're all like, I only made $9,000, but I'm still working, so it's just like a little bonus. And the other, well, I made $27,000, and it's just like, you guys are profiting off of this virus.
That's
like
real money
In a big way. Yeah.
In a huge way. Like, look, these are free cars they're getting.
right?
It's our tax money.
If you went on The Price is Right and you came away with $27,000, you'd be so goddamn pumped. These guys just stayed at home and smoked a ton of weed and made $27,000, and they're mildly disappointed they didn't get more.
I got to write some bullshit enormous check so that Mitty Smitty can make $50,000 off of unemployment benefits. He could work.
Apparently not.
Well, I guess there's no incentive to if you're making that much.
That's the thing. Like I on one hand, like I have some empathy or sympathy, I think, for the guys who lost their job through no fault of their own, right? They didn't lose their job because they're bad at it. They lost their job because the world shut down. There was a global pandemic. So I have some sympathy for the guys in that situation. On the other hand, it's like they sure do seem happy about this situation.
Yeah. I mean, I totally get it, though. If I was unemployed and this happened and I found a way, I was like, wait, I'm making like almost medium household income, or I guess prorated over the entire year, it will be more than median household income. And I just have to continue not working. Like, well, the Lord shines upon me today.
And then who knows what other benefits they're getting that we just didn't talk about. Their rent might be getting forgiven, or like their car payments or car insurance or something like that. I know, like, I got some big discount on my car insurance because they figured, they're like, nobody's on the roads. Why are we charging you this much for car insurance? And they just like refunded me a bunch of my car insurance.
Ooh, neat.
I should probably contact my insurance company.
It's probably a good time to like redo that. I just redid all my insurance literally 13 days ago, whenever October rolled over.
That's smart. It's like I had a thing. Nah, I don't recall. Anyway, I don't know. I was gonna say the 50 grand, right? That means different things to different people. If you're like a software engineer and you're used to making triple that, and you have a family and a mortgage and stuff, then that's not quite the giveaway that it sounds.
Yeah.
No, it would be a real sad day.
Yeah, but if you're I don't know, if you're just a much lower...
If you're a Mitty Smitty.
I actually don't know Mitty Smitty's outside of like his company and gaming. Yeah, but like, you know, if you're a guy with a really low...
do a little happy dance.
If you don't have like a lot of overhead and wife and kids and stuff like that to go, then, 50 grand, sweet.
Mitty's overhead is playing video games with me.
So he had to buy Vermintide and Among Us.
Exactly. Exactly. He's out $35.
All right.
Yeah, Mitty's moving up in the world. He got himself a car. He actually bought a car off of Chiz, and
what kind of car?
A Mustang, and I don't know what year it is. It's like a late model.
No one cares the year. They want to know the number of
V8.
cylinders. Yeah.
Mitty's not a bitch boy, so I'm sure that it's a V8.
Okay.
And he moved out of his house. You know, he's out on his own these days. He's a young fella. I don't know, 22 or something. He's got himself a place to stay, living off the government's back. He's having a good old time.
GG's.
Sounds like it.
The fat of the land.
The fat of the land. You bastard. That's going to be a difficult life to revert back from. Can you imagine?
Who knows if it'll ever revert back? But look, if you think that like Biden's going to like put the hammer down and be like, oh, we're giving way too much money out to the people. We got to reel that back in. This is what we're getting under Trump.
How bad it would be for for me personally, like for my work ethic and everything. It would have been devastating if at the age of like 21, this happened and the government was like, here's $55,000 a year. I'd be like, huh, fuck everything. Like 55 grand a year for a 21-year-old. I may as well be Bezos. Like what? That covers everything in my life.
The only financial conservatives in America are Republicans when they're not in power.
Yep.
Yeah. Honestly, when they're like, it's so funny, like watching them bicker as though it matters. Like 3 trillion's too much, but 1.5 trillion is a good amount. And it's like, dude, this is all made up. Just make it 8 trillion. Who cares? Who cares?
I honestly, like you joke, I wish they would. 8 trillion might be what 8 trillion might fix everything, right? 8 trillion might fix everything.
I want to also be on the Mitty Smitty plan.
Roads and bridges for everyone. Everyone gets $2,000 a month flat, forever, regardless of what you do or what you want to do. Everyone, $2,000 flat forever. And when your granny dies, you don't tell anybody. You just keep cashing those fucking
Social Security
Trump checks, those Donnie dollars.
Donnie dollars, that's what they'll be known as forever.
Yeah, Donnie dollars.
Yeah,
that happened
that'll always work.
I think it was in Japan. They were going to congratulate like Japan's oldest woman. She was 129 years old. And when they went to find her, it was just a rotten corpse and a family still collecting her checks.
Yep. Oh, I saw some people complaining about the ice in my water bottle. I guess when I drink, it makes like a really slight noise.
Very slight. Can you do it louder? I can't hear it.
Yeah, some people don't love it. So I ordered a new water bottle. It's the exact same water bottle, but it's 1 gallon. And I also ordered 18 ball bearings, which I'm going to be freezing and adding to it, so that every time I take a sip, it sounds like a fucking maraca right into the goddamn microphone.
I have a thought. That's funny. That's going to get clipped.
Steel ball bearings.
So to my head, people talk about it in my Twitch chat, and it's no big deal to me. I'm like, I don't know why you guys are fussing. It is a mild, like, relax, people. But they complained about me being too loud and too quiet at different times, and I also always thought I sounded pretty good until I heard it in my car. So I'm like, what it is, there's some percentage of the population whose audio experience is way different. They could be in their car, they could be on wireless earbuds. I don't know where it's bad, but it's probably bad somewhere if they're fussing about it.
Jokes aside, I'll mute my mic from now on when I drink the water.
You should get a mute button. Dude,
I have one. It's on Discord. I click it.
You're.
No, you should
I
make it.
I stopped talking because I had this idea he couldn't hear me on mute, which is what I did at Cisco for decades. So anyway, I'm sorry.
I'm going to make my mute button M so that every time I type any sentence,
never change that.
This happens and. Whoopsie daisy.
Yeah. All right, I changed it off of M. You're right. That was an oversight.
No.
How often you use M?
No,
yes, we do.
You use all the letters quite a bit. Anyway, I got interrupted. Oh, the mute button. I had a much problem. Like people are like, why don't you just mute Discord? Aha, because I'm recording with OBS. The audience will still hear it. Why don't I just mute OBS? Oh, well, then I'm like coughing and sniffling disgustingly into poor Kyle and Taylor's ear. A hardware mute button. That was my solution.
Smart.
Fair enough.
I don't allow myself to sneeze.
I kind of liked it like that wasn't a big deal.
That's
but
weakness, leaving the body.
Do you remember that one time Wings of Redemption made a commentary and he sneezed and then sniffled it back up? You do, right?
Wait, what?
He sneezed and just snot went like down.
You couldn't see it, but
chin.
you heard it. You knew that happened.
And he goes,
oh,
he like sucks it all back in, and you can almost hear him swallow.
dude, dude,
as he swallows the biggest wad of fucking cum like nose jizz you've ever
really
heard in your life.
Snot stuff grosses
It's
me out.
viscous as fuck. If it were motor oil, it would be 400 weight. You can hear it as he swallows this wad, this fucking manly load of salty nose jizz.
That 7 seconds of audio has deeply impacted my psyche, and I'm like very aware of like sniffling sound, because when you sniffle, it's not gross to you, right? To you, like sniffling is part of the human experience a little bit, right?
Yeah.
Like now there's big, full lung sniffles are a little different, but on the mic, it's like, you don't know, this could be awful to somebody.
Dude, the worst for me is burps.
Yeah. And a lot of people,
there's a few guys in the Discord. Mitty's one of them. Calling you out, Mitty, because you haven't addressed the problem. He will burp, and it feels like he's going. Oh, burp time. And he'll like give you the most disgusting, like wet. I can smell it. I can smell it when he. Oh, come on.
It's so bad.
5 times worse than that.
Disgusting?
It's so gross.
It feels like I can hear like things moving around in there.
Dude,
I'm like, oh, that sounded chunky.
That sounded chunky. You're right,
It sounded
dude.
like beef stew was roiling up.
Burp, eat, sniffle on mic is so much worse.
Eat doesn't get to me
in real life.
I can acknowledge it might get to some people, but to me, if I hear chewing or something, like that's not the worst. There are YouTubers I watch that burp into the mic the way Kyle described, and it's like, why? Why did you like?
Why'd you do that?
Yeah, like it's gross to me as the listener, and maybe I'm alone in this. Maybe I'm an asshole, but I'm like, oh, you've just told me something about your socioeconomic background. But the fact that you think belching into the mic is a good joke, I can picture your parents.
Yep. I agree with you 1000%.
So you think that some of the guys in the Patreon chat are doing it as a joke?
I said the guys in the Patreon chat. I meant Mitty. This is 100% directed at Mitty.
Okay. Mitty, why? Come on, man.
I was
First, you're all over our tax dollars, and now you're burping in the mic. And
you were really painting the
picture. Dry and grossing us out.
I don't have that close a relationship with Mitty to be calling him out. I was actually thinking of a YouTuber in this, but I don't want to call him out either.
Well, fuck that loser too.
Being brave is for the brave, Kyle. You can have this. You can storm this front.
Okay.
I don't know who that is.
Or courage is for the brave. That's the expression.
I'm trying to think. Look, did he just give me a clue? No, Woody wouldn't do that.
I can tell you who I'm thinking of.
I don't know who you're thinking of.
Yeah, you're not going to, but I'll tell you anyway.
Oh.
And then I'll read it aloud.
Oh yeah, I've never watched. I think I saw him. Well, I won't say, but I saw one of those videos.
It's funny we're keeping this secret as the match.
I don't want this said to him. I don't know. I don't want him to know I talk shit about him.
Yeah. Pussy. Not you, him.
No, you.
The shoe kind of fits Kyle.
Wes Watson too.
Yeah, see?
Also a pussy. You bumped it too. He just really did not want anybody to know. I don't blame you.
Did the Braves win?
Oh, yes, they won. Oh, yes, they won. It was beautiful. Fucking game 1, National League Championship Series against the Dodgers. Dodgers swept the Padres. Braves swept the Marlins. And they faced off in Texas. And the game was 1-1 into the 9th. Into the top of the 9th inning. Braves score 4. And game ends 5-1 Braves. It's a very good game.
How are the
kind of a nail biter? We left a lot of men on base in maybe the 7th or the 8th. I think it was the 8th. but came back in the 9th and won it. Very good game.
How are the ratings in baseball?
No clue.
Okay, because
I streamed it illegally myself.
Trump said the ratings in basketball were down 70%. So I tried to fact check that. I was like, is it true? Is it like, what's up with that? Is it the politics? I couldn't find that exact number, but numbers like that are true. You know, it could be in the 60s or I'm not sure.
Yeah, more than you would think. It's significant.
It's been down significantly. And I'm like, ooh, you know, so what's up with that? But I looked into it and hockey ratings were down 61%. Kentucky Derby ratings, and they're not very political, the horses. They were down some also. They were down 60-some%, and something else. I don't want to get it wrong. Maybe it was football. I'm not sure.
Yeah. WNBA, just no one watched. It was
went up
0.
No, WNBA went up like 28%.
I know. WNBA. That's what.
Wow. Now there's 3 dozen people.
Now there's 18 people watching.
I know. The law of small numbers. You go from 2 to 3, and it's like 50% the fastest growing sport in America.
So what you were saying, Woody. So I do know every sport is down across the board, ratings wise,
except for mixed martial arts.
Yeah, I'm talking about the traditional sports, and that's a little different. But like NBA is down the highest percentage, NHL is down a ton, and I think those 2 sports they're saying now are getting hit the hardest because they went off their like normal schedule the most. Like people aren't used to watching these sports at this time, especially when it's like, oh wait, baseball's starting, football's starting. Wait, the NBA and the NHL are still fucking around. What the hell?
This is just me talking. You're saying it's the timing being off. My own theory is I think it has to do with the gap. Like it turns out the regular season is a bit of a build-up. People watch them. They make the playoffs. They jockey for position, and then the playoffs happen. Instead, like everyone kind of just got out of the groove of giving a shit.
Yeah. They played like 65, 70 games in baseball. I'm saying that's very low.
Right, but it's no. They don't have the gap, right? Whereas like basketball, they took 3 months off or something. Everyone tuned out.
Yeah. So basically, like all the team, like the Blues, for example, were like fucking killing it, and then 3-month break, they come back and they look like they don't give a shit. There were a bunch of teams that looked like they didn't give a shit. It was like this just doesn't feel real. Like now I'm sure NBA players are saying the same thing, but like lots of NHL players, like yeah, that bubble sucked. It was so boring. You don't talk to anyone. There's nothing to do. Like
they all think a lot of them think the bubble sucked. Again, this is Woody. I think different personalities thrived in different ways. Like I think Kyle and I would do well in the bubble, right? We got our games. Look, we were kind of in the bubble before this whole pandemic.
I've always been in the bubble.
Right. So I don't think it would. But for some of the players, it was this huge drain on their mental health.
Boy.
It was a big problem. They didn't know what to do with themselves. They were cooped up, and it was awful. And again, this is just me. I think it helped LeBron James. LeBron is he 34, 36? Yeah, something like that. And he got injured last year, so this year, and usually like these players in every sport probably, their bodies are just kind of breaking down all season long, and whoever does well in the playoffs is whoever has the most left. But with that 3-month break, 35-ish-year-old LeBron got to recharge a bit and hit the playoffs harder. That's just maybe a theory.
Yeah. Dude, in the most like hockey again, but I'll keep it short. I just have to rant. In the most like Blues luck thing ever, after 52 years of not winning, being in the league, they win, led by Captain Alex Pietrangelo, incredibly good player, one of the best defensemen in the league, and then we sign, we sign Justin Falk from your Hurricanes, like a month or 2 before the COVID shit hit. And I was like, that doesn't really make sense, but that's fine. We got plenty of money to sign Pietrangelo. They already said the cap's going up by $4.5 million or whatever it is, and we're going to lose enough people. We sign him to a contract that he can't be moved now. Then get Bettman, the NHL commissioner, comes out and is like, actually, we're thinking we might have to take a little money off the cap. And it's like, are you fucking kidding me? So now they're trying to move other things. We end up losing our best defenseman, who's now going to play for Vegas, because we couldn't afford him. They bid more than we could afford. Yeah, now you got the Vegas flag next there. So at least he's going to my good friend's favorite team. So that's
my favorite team.
Solace. Yeah, your favorite team. What's his name again?
Pete Buttigieg.
Pete Buttigieg.
Pete Buttigieg, well-known hockey player.
I wouldn't be upset if we're losing him. He had 0 minutes. He was not a force on the team whatsoever.
Plus minus was even.
I would be happy. Yeah, plus minus was even. Very little ice time though.
Great politician, even better hockey player.
And then like they start signing people, and he signs some other offensive defenseman from the Boston Bruins, Torrey Krug, who's like the same age as Pietrangelo, way worse than Pietrangelo. He's the same guy who was like actively hated our team because he was one of the really chippy players that we beat in the Stanley Cup 2 years ago. So there's probably some latent feelings there. We'll see. We'll see what happens. But the Blues I doubt they're very good next year. There's no way they can go from being the best, like, lock it down defensive team, lose Bouwmeester and Pietrangelo, two of the best guys at doing that, and then pick up 2 offensive defensemen. It's like, what are we going to be, a run and gun team now? We don't even have the firepower up front for the run and gun thing. That's why we're a more defensive team. It's always been the Blues' jam, be physical and defensive. So this upcoming season, I bet the Blues are pretty rough.
It's gonna be a rough fucking year.
It might be.
Blackhawks.
It might be nice if we get a real high draft pick. It's been fucking forever since we've got one of those. We could deal with the year where we're
definitely going to get a good one this year.
Yeah. I like how you immediately like belie your total lack of knowledge. And you're like, well, the Chicago Blackhawks are looking like they're, and it's like, no, Kyle, they're going to be one of the worst teams in the NHL.
Not as bad as the St. Louis blues musicians, though.
And not as much as the jazzmen, as the Midwestern jazzmen. That should be, you know, when teams like have a goal scored, like it's usually like a big horn or something playing, but for the Blues, it's just some guy from like Scott Skilly Dally Dooley
scatting.
Yeah. Everybody hates it. It's like, you know what? This has nothing to do with it.
It's better
this
than. Oh, wait.
And now, welcome to the ice, the St. Louis Blues, man.
Taylor. Instead of scat when they score, what if they played the Blues when the other team scored? Right? Just some. I don't know. You had a bad day. That's not even Blues, but go with me.
No, the Blues were the last team that still had like an organist up there that physically did it. And so, yeah, he plays sad music when we get scored on.
I like that.
Okay.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Womp, womp, womp.
Yeah. Stuff like that.
His hands are going to be full next year.
They will. He's going to come up with a lot of new tunes because it's going to be rough.
The Sixers are in the same spot. They have a few giant contracts, and it looks like the league... probably like hockey, the amount that you can pay players is based on a percentage of revenues. Revenues are down because of the whole pandemic thing. It really handcuffs the Sixers' abilities to get any better. And we have some of the most promising young talent in basketball, but no optimism because we can't give them any help.
Yeah.
Well, the University of Georgia Bulldogs are on the cusp of glory.
Ooh,
We're ranked 3rd in the fucking country. We blew Tennessee out last week. And next week, this Saturday, we play Alabama. We beat Alabama, that's it. And
we weakened them for you.
Dude, a similar story with the NC State Wolfpack. I fucked it up for a second. They're ranked 27th. One more win, and they might get a number next to their name.
Fancy.
Pretty much the same thing.
Pretty much the same thing, except not at all.
You would be probably number 1. Would you think
we would be number 1 if we beat Alabama?
You'd have to leapfrog too, though. But
we'd have to beat them twice, though. That's the thing about fucking SEC and the schedule. Like we play Alabama, and then next hardest.
Isn't Clemson number 1?
Clemson's number 1, yeah.
So why would you leapfrog Clemson if you beat Bama?
I just think that's how it would work. I think Alabama would drop to like 7th or 8th or something like that. And if we beat them impressively, you know, and then Clemson's got to have a performance too. I guess what I should say is we could leapfrog Clemson. And,
guess who's no longer on the list this week? LSU.
Yeah, they had a rough outing.
They did. They lost to Mizzou. Now we're getting votes somehow. That won't last.
Well, you beat LSU. That'll do it.
That's true.
I like that Taylor and I's schools hover in the same orbit. You know, ooh, getting some votes. How many teams is that down the? You know, we're unofficially 33rd.
Yeah,
the tide can turn quickly. Like Georgia could lose this game, then lose to Florida, and then they're like a 22nd ranked team or some shit.
Yeah, what? And fall to shit in college football so fast.
If they beat Alabama though, and they beat Florida. I mean, there's a lot. Actually, there's a lot they'd have to do. Then they got to go to the SEC championship game.
You know what I hope happens? I hope they beat Alabama, they beat Florida, they beat Kentucky, and I hope they
Lose
have
to South Carolina.
a horrible outing against Missouri.
Oh,
If you guys won all 6 of those really hyper difficult games and then lost to Missouri, your season would be over. Unless, it'd be a better precedent because they already beat LSU. But even so, Georgia's
what
better.
we usually do is we do very well, and then we have to play South Carolina at like week 5 or 6, and they like play their best game of the whole fucking year against us, and then we somehow play our worst game of the whole fucking year against them, and it's either a nail biter or we fucking lose to South Carolina, and it's humiliating.
Yeah, that does seem like a bad matchup for you guys. What's the history of that?
Yeah, you know what I hate about South Carolina is they call themselves USC. No, there's a real USC, and they're in California. No one thinks of you when anyone says that.
Yeah, their mascot is the Gamecock.
Yes, it's a popular hat amongst high school kids.
I bet.
Because it
Cox.
says Cox, yeah. Oh,
Yeah, in the last 10 years, it's split 5-5 between South
Which
Carolina
is shocking
and
because
right, they're not parallel teams.
UGA is literally like a perennial top 10 team, and like South Carolina is just not. They're
not bad.
They're a top 25 team, but to like split those games is nonsense. Like there's been years where we were like ranked 5th or 6th in the country, and they're not ranked, and they still fucking like bring it right to the edge of a loss.
Just need Mizzou to get one more win.
NC State.
I think that they like spend the whole year like, all right, boys, we lost again, but stay focused because Georgia's coming. It's all that matters. It's all that matters.
We got a great record against them. We're never going to win the championship. Don't even try, but we can keep beating Georgia.
Yeah, it's very frustrating. I don't know. It's been a decent year for Georgia sports. That we sacrificed the Falcons to the sports gods. Mm-hmm. They fired their coach and their general manager. I don't even know what the record is. It's like your friend's burning alive in a car and there's no way to rescue him, and you just turn away at some point and you don't know what happened after he got fully engulfed. That's the Falcons. I think they're 0-4, 0-5. I don't even know how many weeks of pain it's been. It's awful. And so coach and GM are fired. Maybe next year, maybe 5 years from now. Who fucking knows? It's the Falcons have been an embarrassment for so goddamn long. I can't even remember. But Braves are having a best year in 2 decades, and UGA's having their best season. And I don't know. I don't remember the last time they were ranked 3rd. They were ranked 3rd like at the end of the year a couple years ago. But to be this early and this highly ranked is a pretty new thing, I think.
It takes so many wins. It takes so many wins. You can only get like one loss in football. Every game's a playoff game, kind of.
Pretty much, yeah. But the way the schedules are, like this year, the schedule is rougher than it's ever been because they're just playing in the SEC. Mm-hmm. But because we don't have any of those like complete give-me's.
None?
But we've already beaten like 2 of the most difficult opponents. So we've just got 2 more, and that's it.
Well, I know no one cares about NC State, but I have to get it out. We have a very winnable game next week. Then we'll be ranked. Then we have 2 games that we absolutely can't win, so it won't last. But I'm hoping we get that number.
Who do you play next week?
Duke. Duke has no wins this year, so it's promising. And then we play UNC, who's top 5, and then Miami, who's 13th. It'll be rough. Right? I think I'll be.
What position do you play?
Cheerleader at best.
I play looks at the stats after the game.
Yeah, that's about right.
Yeah, they're giving you 4 points, so you're favored.
Against Duke? Yeah. ESPN says 66% chance of winning. We're at home too.
Well, you guys want to call it a show?
At Alabama.
I'm going to eat dinner, and then we can play some Vermintide.
Yeah, I'm down. I'm going to do the exact same thing. I'm going to cook some dinner and then come back in here and play some Vermintide.
That'll be fun.
Do you want to play Woody?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'll get it installed.
Okay.
All right. PKN 321. That's a lot.